Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Delve Requisite, right here on Proficiency Bonus. Hey, happy Pride Month, everybody. I'm wearing my rainbow polyhedral shirt in honor. It's getting a little beat up because it's been washed about 6 million times, but we out here. So that's all I'm gonna say on the matter. As a straight white man, I feel like anything further than that is some form of me being shitty. So happy Pride Month to all of our LGBTQ plus friends, family, and viewers. And let's play some D&D. Before we begin, let us give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games! Little Dragon in the chat at any point during tonight's stream. We'll bring up a link to their website. They are a fine purveyor of D&D or tabletop RPG polyhedral dice. Confirmation, yes, our code works again, I believe. We got that all sorted out with them. So you can use our code PROBONUS for a 10% discount on your order if you decide to buy anything from Little Dragon Corp. Thank you, of course, as well to Cardboard Castle! !CCG in chat for a link to their website. They are a brick and mortar game store located here in the United States in Evans, Georgia, but you can visit their website for all of your gaming needs. They have quite a robust site in which you can make all of your purchases and ship pretty much anywhere you want. So thank you to both of them, and let us hit a little bit of a recap before we begin. So you guys are still...
Matt, before you begin, I just wanted to give you some encouragement. You've been nailing that CCG recently.
Yeah, I got shamed into getting the exclamation point CCG correctly. I'll let you guys in on a secret. I always do Little Dragon Corp first because I know that somebody's going to put it in the chat, and then I can look at the chat and read it so that I get it right. That's my secret.
Nice.
I have a small moment of panic every time I have to do it. I'm like, CGC? No, CCG. So the doomed will be the day that somebody doesn't drop it in chat for me as I'm doing the sponsor reads at the beginning. But recap. You guys are currently still on the island of Naporia, the homeland of party member Nymue. When we last left off, you guys had been present for an attempted attack by an individual disguised as an Ignean diplomat. Whether or not that individual is working on any official business of the Ignean Empire or is some sort of a rogue element or something else is unclear to you, but after extending an offer, apparently on behalf of the Ignean Empire, to the people of Naporia for something of an exclusive kind of mercenary contract for their legendary lunar warriors, and being turned down, an attack was launched on a ceremony of young people undergoing a rite of passage to see if they were among the chosen people of Naporia who would go on to become Kalashtar, or soul-touched individuals possessing of spirits in union with spirit realm of Azuria. You guys intervened and were largely able to protect the island, protect most of the young people undergoing the trial. And you found a little bit of a few clues on the persons of the would-be assassins. Nymue had something of a reconciliation with her father, who, though perhaps he still struggles with being stuck in some of his old ways and a little bit rigid in his disciplines and his view of honor, is after witnessing the coming to life of a true guardian of the Naporian island, is coming to realize that perhaps the anger that he had held toward Nymue for seeking another path besides the traditional training and carrying on of the tradition on the island that he had planned for her, was perhaps misguided or narrow-minded of him. The two of them had a lengthy discussion, and Rowan, after having sort of proven herself worthy of being considered at least sort of an adoptive native of Naporia, was examined by the master swordsmith, who then had her aid him in crafting a sword. Shikai, or Oath, is the named blade that she was presented with, of Naporian steel. And now it is going to be up to the crew of the Grimm's Folly to decide where they will be going next, what their heading will be, what the world has in store for them. Ray Gozen has asked that you guys, check in with him at least once more before you set out to sea again. But the decision on where you guys are heading next is entirely up to you.
What was the name of the old guy? The one that was in charge of the city planning or whatever. There was the old dude.
Let me pull that up.
I didn't open Brittney's notes. I'm a cretin and a fool.
Koshiro?
I believe that is right. Let's see.
Yeah, Koshiro, civic leader on the island.
Yes, so Koshiro is the civic leader, Minako is the spiritual leader, Hachiro is the master smith, and of course, Rei is the sort of the martial leader of the island.
I am not sure what the rest of you want to do now. I am fine going anywhere, but I would ask, may we leave tomorrow instead of today?
That works for me.
I would like to speak with the very old one, Koshiro. Was that Koshiro? I don't know how you pronounce that.
Yes, that's him.
I would like to speak with him before we leave. Perhaps with an 8 hours buffer between leaving and speaking to him.
Alright. Yeah, I could probably arrange that. They're probably more willing to discuss things with us now.
Yeah. Well, after that business is done, wherever you all would like to go, I will follow.
I just want to fuck up the Ignians, really. I don't really have much of a plan.
Unrelated to you guys. Nope. Okay.
I personally...
I had to... I was having some waveform issues that I was looking at on the on OBS, but we're good.
I personally wouldn't mind going and just taking my notebook out to the place where we encountered that creature from the island.
You want to go back?
But that can be done. That can be done while Scylla's busy with what she wants to do. I mean, I should be able to find a way out there. I mean,
If
I
we
don't know.
can borrow...
Would they just take me out there, or is this something that would be frowned upon?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Usually the Temple of Harmony is pretty sacred ground for obvious reasons now, but if you have a plan, maybe they might be more willing since you did help save everybody. It's definitely something we can negotiate happening, but I wouldn't recommend just going out there by yourself. you would probably need an escort or something. Whether that be me or somebody else.
Sure.
But I don't see a problem with it. That is something to consider because, like, that ceremony was completely interrupted, so I don't know what the plan is now. We've never had that happen before.
I just want an extensive amount of notes before I leave.
Yeah, that's sure. I could ask. We can talk to the leaders and make something happen.
Sounds good.
Rowan, Macbeth, do you have anything you want to do while we're here? Or plans for in the next few days?
Nothing I want to do while we're here, but I might have an idea about where we should head off next.
Where's that?
Well, judging from that letter that you found,
Mm-hmm.
we do know where some of these slavers wanted somebody to bring Naporian warriors.
Right.
And we do. And I put my head on my shoulder and I go, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, have live bait to lure out.
You're not wrong,
These sons
Captain.
of
You're
bitches.
not wrong. Yeah, I'm down for being bait. If I can fuck up some Ignians.
It goes without saying that no matter what we do, we're gonna go fuck up some Ignians.
I'm just putting it out there that I really need to like mess them up right now. I'm really upset that they messed with us. How dare?
That
The
was going to be my vote
audacity.
too.
Yeah.
My vote is for messing with some Ignians, whether it's we go right to that slave report or we go
Mhm.
mess them out in the ocean. I just want to hit him with my new sword.
Great. We're all on the same page.
I will say, I don't know, I haven't felt right ever since that one, like, basically almost cut his head off in front of me. It seemed like a really strange thing to do, don't you think?
Hmm.
I can't remember what it was he said to me, but he said something
Definitely an
very
understatement.
strange.
I don't remember. I was a little distracted.
I was busy.
Trying
Yeah,
to
I
find it in the notes.
We're all
We definitely
I
were
was-
busy.
I was also
all
concentrating on making that creature very large. So-
They
I think
said,
I was knocked out when that happened, so I have no memory.
can I,
Right.
do I remember what that guy said? Because I was like on the beach, actually. I think I was pretty close to there. Because I had gotten thrown off of the ship onto the beach near where Thyxes was with that guy that was hiding in the trees. I have it here. But I don't know if I heard it and remember it or not.
I mean, if you guys have it written down and have the notes, everything, yeah, of course.
Well, Thyxes would have heard it. I just, honestly, the player, Michael, doesn't remember.
As I
So-
Thyxes, as if you're a little shaken up about the blood that spattered on you when he did that, I believe he said, "My life for the cause. My blood will nurture this soil. It does not matter what happened here. All of you are doomed."
Wow, hella ominous, huh?
Something along those lines.
What a lovely man.
Glad I
Fun
was
at parties.
not awake for that.
The lovely man.
What a fun individual.
Just something about him did not seem right.
Yeah, to be fair,
He
we
didn't
did also
seem.
we did run into that other guy who we totally killed, and then he wasn't dead, and he was a horrible abomination too.
Mm.
So
Yes.
the Ignians seem to be doing some real weird crap with their dudes.
When people have a strong belief in
That's a
something.
t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
Wow.
The Ignians seem to be doing some real weird crap with their dudes.
When people have a very strong sense of belief for something, sometimes they are willing to do anything for that cause, including slitting their own throat in front of a group of attackers, I suppose.
Or go to Rutabaga's shack.
We made it like a couple weeks without mentioning Rutabaga. Did you have
I know.
to bring it up again?
It's been too long.
No.
I was literally thinking the same thing, Rowan. I
That
don't know
that
why.
joke is now getting almost as old and worn out as Rutabaga herself.
Wow.
So just watch it.
One day we're gonna need her for something, and this is all gonna bite us.
It's all
I'm
gonna bite us.
sorry.
Snap, crackle, pop for nothing.
Okay, well, I will go talk to the leaders. Is there anything else that I need to bring up while I'm going there? Any other suggestions or requests while I'm heading in that direction? No, we're good. So Thyxes wants to go back to the Temple of Harmony. Scylla, you would like to have an audience with Koshiro specifically, or anybody?
Well, would Koshiro be the one in charge of the farmland here?
Yes, I believe so.
Then that is fine. If you can show me where to go, I can just meet him out in a field or up at the temple.
Why don't you come with me then?
All right.
Okay, let's go find Koshiro-sama. And then I will talk to
With Thyxes to make sure he doesn't fall into an open hole or something.
Oh, you want to come with me, Captain?
Sure. Another bear do.
Do you all want to do
Great.
some with, since Thyxes wants to talk to Minako-sama?
Just gonna suggest maybe we all just go up there and
Yeah, let's go.
all of our business in one go. Because
Yeah, might as well.
didn't you say that your dad wanted to see you again? So we've been here a few days.
Yeah, I already done. We already talked. It was great.
How'd that go?
Well,
Oh, that good.
he apologized and said he was a fool. What day was it yesterday? I need to put this on my calendar because I don't think I will ever get that again.
What day was it yesterday?
I don't even know what today
Matt,
is.
come on, give us the calendar.
I need to write this down on my non-existent calendar.
Thyxes
that
pulls
Dad
out of his-
Basically
Hold on.
googling fantasy calendar.
Out of his back pocket, pulls up his little pocket calendar and starts
Starts going through her journal, trying to find the date.
Sorry, I was definitely not adding a day since Rutabaga joke counter to the overlay on the stream.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, you got it on there? That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's never gonna have to change it from 0.
That's awesome.
In any event, to answer your question,
Tuesday.
the month is High Sun, and it is the 17th of High Sun today.
And I spoke with him yesterday, yeah? Or is it the same day?
I
We
believe this is-
ended
I
the
believe it's
night-
the same. No, actually, some
And we
time
had
has
a whole
passed
week.
because we had a time passage of about a week, during which you, Rowan, were forging your sword.
Okay, so whatever day that was.
Is it like the 21st of High Sun then?
No, today is the 17th of
I
High
get your
Sun,
math.
so the
It
conversation
was like
with the
it was
father
like the
saying the
10th of
conversation
High
would have
Sun.
been like 10th of High Sun.
10th.
Or
10th of
technically 7th of High Sun, because a week on the calendar of Heart
Is
is
a
10
10
days. Is a 10 day instead of a 7 day. I do not know off the top of my head what the days of the week are in the calendar of Heart.
That's fine.
I've never needed
No, I
that
just needed the
information,
number.
and it seems like enormously annoying minutia to have to track. So I'm not worrying about it too much.
You're good. Yeah. No, yeah, he pretty much admitted that he was wrong. It was very unexpected. But
I'm
I
glad
feel
that's
like the two of us
fine.
still have a long way to go, but it is a start. And he seems more receptive now for me leaving. He's not as angry. I mean, he's always a little bit angry, but he's not that angry at me anymore. So I guess that's good.
It is good to have the will of your people behind you as you leave, since apparently that was something you were lacking the first time around. Now when you swing your blade or jump very, very far, you can know that you have the force of the whole of Naporia behind you.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if you get the force of that big friggin' mountain thing.
Yeah, that was really cool.
You know, your
And I think
father was a
that's
good
kind of like
swimmer.
shook my father a little bit because he had never seen it and he doesn't understand the whole spiritual side of things. He's very like, if I see it, it's real. If I don't see it, it's not true. But he saw it, so ha ha ha. All right, let's go.
Okay. So Thyxes, you are finding someone to take you out to the island. Is that? And then the rest of you are
No,
going.
I'm taking all of them.
everybody's
to go
going,
see the
okay.
spiritual lyrics to confirm that he can
Gotcha.
go back out there.
Like I said, I was making the rutabaga account there while you guys were
You're
discussing what your
good.
plans were.
Thanks.
Priorities.
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 I was gonna ask if you guys weren't all going together. I was gonna ask if Murderbeard was gonna look for the local brothel in Naporia, which is now canonically named the whole of Naporia.
Oh god.
I hate it.
No.
I'm not going with you.
Damn it.
Murderbeard's priorities are now clear.
Oh no.
I'll go with Thyxes if I have to.
Anyway, so you guys are all heading back. You're heading to try and track down the gain yourself an audience with the Council of Elders, essentially, which is easy enough to do. It was requested that you do so. So you guys head up to the kind of the central spire there of the. I always try to point, and I then remember that I can't get anywhere near pointing out things on the map because of my green screen. But you guys head up to that same structure where you had spoken to the council before. Ray is currently not present, as he is overseeing some stuff going on over at the school. But you guys are able to gain an audience with both Koshiro and Minako if you are so inclined.
Yeah. I would like to probably see both of them just to be sure. Because Thyxes wants to go back to the temple and Scylla wants to speak to Koshiro.
Yeah, nothing so formal this time, as you guys are sort of kind of ingratiated yourself to the leadership and the people of the island here. So they receive you guys out in kind of a smallish enclosed courtyard garden. Koshiro is out sitting on a bench. He's just reading from a book as you guys are led out there. Minako is out towards the kind of the center of this garden. She has a pair of delicate clippers, and she is in the process of making a series of very careful and very considered and calculated cuts to a small tree that is in the sort of center and slightly offset in this garden. As you guys are led in, Koshiro looks up from his book. He closes it, sets it down on the bench beside him, and he says, "Good to see you again." He says, "I have no time for these things. Come, sit."
Okay. I come forward.
He gestures to all of you. He says, "Sit, relax, be at peace. What brings you here today?"
Well, a couple of my companions wish to speak with both you and Minako-sama. Scylla, I believe, had some business with you personally? And I kind of gesture at Scylla.
He has these kind of like dense eyebrows, that like go rise up to his largely bald forehead. I must say, I am intrigued.
I would like to visit your farmland.
I see. To what purpose?
I have recently, in my meditations with the land, figured out a way to channel life energy into plants to make them more abundant at harvest time. So I would like to go to your farmland, to the very center of it, and for about a half a mile all around me, if you give me 8 hours, I can make it so that twice the normal amount of food will grow from all around that spot. Since we were not able to save everyone in the fight with the Naporians, I know this does not make up for the lost life, but perhaps I can help provide nourishment for the growth and success of all of the people here.
He is quiet for a moment as he seems to kind of ponder on these words. And eventually he says, "Your actions, though you are not of Naporia, speak of tremendous honor. There are few who would throw themselves headlong against an enemy, protect those not as powerful. In this, you owe no debt to Naporia. However, it is a core belief of our people here that all citizens, all people of this island, have a duty to their brothers, sisters, kin, people of Naporia. All people play their part, for together we thrive. For separate, we wither on the vine. So, if you all are to be adopted citizens of Naporia, I would never deny you the opportunity through the labors of your, well, perhaps in this case I hesitate to say the labors of your back, so much as the workings of your fascinating magics. But I would not deny you the right to contribute to our little nation. And you would have our thanks if you can truly do what you say.
I think I can. It will only last for a year, perhaps. Not always. It would need to be. I would need to renew it. But if you can direct me to perhaps some farmland where this would be of greatest benefit to the people. I don't know what you grow here. The foods that were at that festival were very different from anything else I had ever eaten before. And I eat bugs, so that's really saying something.
He grins a little and he says, you say, what distance from the point of your magics?
About a half of a mile.
He says, Naporia is not so large. I will take you myself. We will go to the fields. I should very much like to bear witness to this act of magic.
It is going to take all day, so you can certainly watch if you want, but you are not obligated to stay.
He kind of gestures to him, like, just nothing in general, and as at the same time as, like, he sort of splays his arms wide to display that he's just like an old man. He's like, where do I have to be? I don't do anything fast these days.
Valid.
I shall sit and I shall witness your magic. And if they need me for anything, they can come find me in a rice field as easily as they can find me by this garden,
Then lead on.
Oh, right now. Okay. And he pushes himself up.
I will
And,
wave goodbye to everybody.
And off they go. Minako, who's been like sort of watching this the whole time, looks a little like it's kind of got a little bit of a blank look on her face as if she's not quite sure what to make of talk of strange foreign tall Firbolg exotic women and their magics of making the crops grow bountiful for a year, but she seems to be taking it all in stride nonetheless.
Nymue looks very happy right now. That was very cute. Okay, I go over to Minako-sama. And I like gesture for Thyxes to like, come on, let's go to her.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm coming.
Minako-sama, do you have time as well?
I think for 6 of you, I can of course make time. And she gestures to the tree. She says, as you can see, I am not currently undertaking something of vital importance to the soul of Naporia.
Still important.
She nods. She says, doing all things with intention is important. But
Of course.
for this, I can take a break. What is it I can do for you and your friend?
Thyxes has a request, I believe.
She looks to you. She says, yes?
Minako, you just mentioned that we are to do things with purpose. I would very much like to return to the place where we witnessed the spirit of Naporia rise from the ground. I do have some notes that I would like to take, and I would much like to take my captain with me as well.
She looks from you, she looks to Murderbeard, she looks back to you. She says, something extraordinary happened on that island yesterday. Something that has certainly not happened in my lifetime or the lifetime of any that I have ever heard of. The fact that you all were present should not go unnoted. I do not pretend to understand the will of the spirits. They have their own wants, their own needs. It is ever my job to attempt to listen and to act in service to their desires, for they are far older and far wiser than any mere mortal can ever hope to be. it would be audacious beyond reasoning for me to deny you access to this Temple of Harmony. She says, I believe that your presence on that island, the events that occurred yesterday, are connected to something larger and more wondrous than my humble mind could ever understand. I would request of you that you treat the shrine with respect while on the island, and that things which you might learn while in its presence be treated with equal amount of respect.
It will be done.
She says, then you have my blessing.
Did you hear that, Captain? Okay, just checking.
Standing here the whole time, Thyxes.
I guess I will bow and start awkwardly walking backwards because Thyxes doesn't really know what to do here. So that's probably what he would do.
Thyxes walks, and Nymue, you notice that he walks his way backwards. He's like shuffling some like lines in the like tightly like raked sand of the pit. You see Minako's eyes like flick to the sand and back to Thyxes, and she just smiles a little bit.
I will mind link with Thyxes and be like, Minako-sama is not a predator. You're allowed to show her your back.
Do I just think?
Yeah, it's just an open channel for like hours. Do I just think?
Who, by the way, I don't know if this was like made clear.
Thyxes' current thought.
She has the markings.
I think this is the first time you've ever mind linked with Thyxes.
Might be.
Oh, you might be right.
Minako with the markings of a Kalashtar, sees Thyxes go, and then turn to you and go, "Do I just think?" And she's just like,
"Do I just think?"
I look at Minako-sama and I'm just like, "Oh."
I spin on a heel. I take a look back. And then I skitter as far away as I can. Awkwardly.
He's got some work to do.
Apologize for him. He may look like an idiot. He may talk like an idiot, but don't let that fool you. He really is an idiot.
Do I just think?
Actually, in about 5 minutes, you'd probably hear in your head, "Is this still on?"
Maybe I should turn it off. I'll be with you in a minute. I will go with you, actually. I would like to go with you.
Raises a lot of questions about the nature of the mind link, whether like Nymue is just constantly fending off stray thoughts about like leather pants.
That's right, yes.
Like, beard care routines.
I turn it off at that point. Like, are you pants like chafing? And I'm like,
Which bugs are particularly in season this time of year?
Oh boy.
All right, so, Scylla, you're gonna be casting your ritual, right? Thyxes, you're kind of like, you and Murderbeard are sort of just kind of examining.
Yeah, like mechanically, Matt, it doesn't really have to be anything we play out. Thyxes would just be like when he with investigating firsthand those like ley lines, those
Mhm.
arcane ley lines and things. Basically, he'd be mapping to see if there's like a directional pull, maybe for like to kind of put like a compass rose on where the lines may actually be leading and where they're heading and what direction they go, if that is something that can be possibly done. Like, so that way, if I find one in the future, maybe I can map that one out too and see if there's a connection somewhere.
Okay.
So that's all he's really interested in.
Also, Matt, while he's doing that, because I'm not sure how long he's taking on the island of Harmony, I think Nymue would go and like it much in the way that Scylla was encouraging us all to find like our heart spirit, our heart animal. She would probably sit somewhere within like eye line of the temple and try and meditate and try and just focus because she's feeling a little conflicted with the information that the guardian gave her.
Okay.
So that's what she's doing. She's like supervising, but not really because she's meditating.
So Thyxes, why don't you make me an Arcana roll? Nymue, make me a religion check. And then we'll kind of like I'll check in with sort of Murderbeard Rowan here, and then Scylla.
That's a 22 on the Arcana check.
Damn.
All right.
Like that? 15.
15? Okay.
Yeah, 13 plus 2.
All right. Murderbeard Rowan. So what I'm gonna do here, because Scylla's thing is just over the course of an 8-hour period. So we'll move to her, and I'll let her kind of like narrate, the flavor of her ritual. And we'll use that as sort of the like transition of time that will carry through all of your guys' other stuff. So like, are Rowan and Murderbeard doing anything specific during this time? In addition to the other two.
I went to the.
You're with Thyxes.
Yeah.
Rowan probably would have just decided to walk around the island and not like necessarily seeking out, but just keeping her eye out for any of the 3 students that lived from the fight. Because she just wants to check in on them.
Okay. Alrighty. So, let's see, how do I want to do this? Scylla, why don't you describe the ritual that you conduct and what this looks like over the course of these 8 hours?
Okay, I literally just had to Google something to figure something out, but now I know.
Alrighty,
Okay.
Go for it.
So, I'm assuming we kind of have to like go like, because we're like up like on a little mountain thing, right?
So yeah, you end up having to go like kind of down some winding switchback trails. If you look at sort of the map here, the place that you get led to is like kind of like smack in the center of the crescent of the island.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where they have some other farmland kind of like scattered, through some places, but that is largely like the biggest, flattest patch of cultivated land in the island. A lot of like irrigation trenches have been dug, leading some of the fresh water that is coming from like some of the higher points in the island, leads it down and like irrigates, like flood irrigates some of these. They have like some places where they're growing some rice. They have some places there's a lot of it is a lot of like vegetables that do very well in like extremely high water content. But they have some other varied crops as well. They're growing cabbage on the island. They're growing you see some peppers. You see some places where they have like wheat growing. Primarily like rice fields is what they've got. It's their staple crop.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you're kind of led like smack to the center of. Oh, we lost.
What just happened?
We lost Victoria. No, we
No,
lost.
we lost
we lost
Kristy.
Kristy.
Kristy became camera not available for a minute.
And now the wait, which side?
Oh,
My
Wait.
my second camera that you guys can see me on is now in Thyxes' window. So my arm will be Thyxes, and my wait, no, I can't get at that one.
Well,
My arm can play
all my
Thyxes.
cameras came
Thyxes
back,
can
though.
play Nymue. Scylla's gonna have to hand
I'm
puppet.
back though. What?
what is happening?
It's weird.
This is
It's
so
back
weird.
on my screen
Forced
though.
in a
Maybe
reset,
Let me,
yeah.
let me
One
exit. I'm gonna have to reset and let's see if we can. Got it. Okay.
What a troublemaker.
Sorry.
Oh, there we
My
are.
camera's glitchy.
There we go. Okay, so listen, I'm not like a plant expert, so like don't
okay.
clock me here.
It's okay, because I am, and I will call you out if you're wrong.
Okay, so I know that like bone meal is really good for like a lot of plants because it has calcium in it.
Sure.
So when Scylla gets to the point that like Koshiro leads her to, she'll take out like a small little like shard of like a dried up bone, and she'll kind of just like grind it up between some stones, and she'll take that powder and she'll take a water skin of fresh water, and damn, she'll probably have some manure because that stuff's also really like I feel like that makes plants grow. So she mixes it all
Sure.
together in like she digs like a small little like hole in the ground, like only like a couple inches deep, and pours the water in it and pours the like bone meal stuff in it and some of like the dung, and she like will mix it up, and then she will do like some like hand gestures, and the water like begins to swirl on its own and kind of like ripple from the center, and then water like begins to like pour out in small streams and like swirl around the center of it, and then she literally is just going to like it's almost like a Pied Piper but with just like water following her. She just like will like lead this like enriched water like through the farmlands, like down all of like the rows of plants, and like just kind of go like around like the whole circle of the area that she gets to like work in, and it's just like slow moving, but like the water never actually runs out, even though she only put like a little bit in. It just like magically like keeps coming up because there's not actually any material components. It's just verbal and somatic. So she like is occasionally like doing like hand gestures and like saying stuff in Druidic, and like sometimes the water will like shimmer with like a kind of like green blue like glow, and like she'll walk it out. So if what Koshiro, if he wants to like come with, he can, but he probably also see her doing this like walking around, so that's what she does.
Okay. And she does this for 8 hours. It takes her, yeah.
Yeah, it's slow moving, so to get across the whole half-mile radius like circular is like literally 8 hours, and then at the end of it she probably like puts her hand into like the little hole that she made and like says like a final like word in Druidic, and then like because the whole ground is wet now, like everything like rippling out from her, like there's kind of, it almost looks like spectral like waves like washes over like the whole space, and then that's it. That's like the final part.
Okay. So over the course of this 8-hour period, this day that you guys spent in Naporia doing these final things, Thyxes and Murderbeard, you guys are on this small little island where the Shrine of Harmony is located. And Thyxes, you spend some time studying the structure of the island, looking at the temple. You kind of reach out your senses a little bit. You know, as someone attuned to magic, you have like, you know, a little bit of a sixth sense for like kind of feeling magical energy. You know, it is something that anyone can be trained to do, can be kind of, you know, can kind of feel magic. But it's something that as someone born with this sort of innate magic in your blood, it's always come a little easier to you you've noticed. So you spend a lot of time really trying to like feel out the flow of magic in this area, almost like, in a way, almost like echolocating deep into the ground and trying to like feel out the pulse of the ley lines. With a 22 Arcana check, what you feel is that the webwork, the flow of magic, the etheric lines that run through the planet themselves, almost remind you of the roots of some infinitely massive tree, where you can feel places where there are thick, ancient, dense lines of magic, places where they branch off into thinner and thinner streams and arcing, forking lines into like these almost infinitely, undetectably small little like capillaries of magic. In a sense, the very world itself is infused with magic, and this is not something that is revelatory to you. You've always been able to feel magic around you. You know that it is suffused into the very fabric of the world. In this particular place, you feel that there are a few kind of main branching trunks of ley energy that you sense moving from this position, thicker than the rest. One of them moves kind of vaguely north. One of them moves kind of vaguely south. One of them moves kind of vaguely west. In an easterly direction, however, the feel of this main ley line, you can feel that it heads in that direction, but something about it feels a little different. You're almost reminded of, if you were thinking of this as a massive root heading off across the planet, it's almost as if somewhere along the line in that eastern direction, something has cut that root. And you also feel that there is almost like a taproot. There is a sense of magic descending straight down, deep, far beyond your ability to feel or sense into the very depths of the planet itself from this location.
Captain, this is one of the strongest senses of arcane ley lines I have felt. There is something prohibiting from the east, though. I'm not really sure what it means. Have you any experience in anything like this before, Captain?
Particularly, magic's not really my bag. So you would be a better judge than I would.
I don't know, I've just been searching for a long time. I do have some arcane sense, but the problem that I have is I really struggle with controlling it at times. And I'll be honest, ever since I met all of you, it's getting stronger. Which also causes me to fear a little, because I feel like at any point, something bad could happen. And if it does, I fear for, well, to be honest, all of your safety.
Well,
I'm hoping that sometime I can find some of these clues that will help me to learn how to control it a little bit better.
Well, my boy, I'll tell you this. I think most people at any moment feel like things can go horribly wrong. And they can, because that's part of being alive. So, I'm not telling you not to be afraid, but I am saying maybe look at it more like you have a power that's growing in you, and each day you get better at controlling it. And just think about all the good that you can do with that power. And also, if something goes horribly wrong, we're all pretty good at dealing with terrible things. We'll bounce back. Or we'll all die and it won't matter, but probably the bounce back thing.
Well, I hope we all don't all die, Captain. But that's you're making me feel a little better, I guess. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, good talk.
Well, I'll say in our travels, it might be a good idea for us to maybe keep an eye out for folks that might be able to give you better advice on magic than an old sea dog like me who still isn't quite sure how latrines work.
I do, I was adopted. I have a family in Valand. My father specializes in creating those massive stilt poles that they build the buildings on the outskirts of the city upon. One time he thought it'd be a good idea to take me to work. Maybe I could help out, you know? I accidentally made one of the poles disappear. That was the last time I was invited to work with my adopted father. He was very patient with me. He was very kind, but I cost him a lot of money and gold that day. And I can't figure out why.
Well, I will say that this is a very serious moment, and I want you to know how hard it was not to say anything about that pole disappearing. But I will say that people who don't understand what other people might be going through, or abilities that they might have, oftentimes their first reaction is either anger, disgust, or just to downright distance themselves. Now, I don't know your father. I can't judge his character for myself, but it seems on that day he failed his son. And, I hope maybe the rest of us can help make up for that.
Well, thank you, Captain. It means a lot.
Welcome. I may not show it, but I am always looking out for you.
Oh, thanks. I'm kind of glad. I don't know. I'm glad this whole group has been brought together. I don't know. I feel like by being with all of you, I'll find the answers that I'm looking for someday.
Hey. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna turn over here and stare at the sun for a minute, and I'm totally fine. Don't worry about it.
Rowan.
Thyxes will go back to taking some notes and waiting on Murderbeard.
Rowan, you kind of wander around the island. You ask a few questions. What you discover is that the four surviving young men and women from the ceremony yesterday are currently home with their respective families for the time being. You hear the sort of prevailing local gossip is that the plan is that in a few days' time, once they have have had some time to kind of process the things that happened, the things that they saw, they are going to be with not really any fanfare and festivity about it. They are going to journey back out to the island with both Minako and Ray, and partake in their rite of passage at that point. That's sort of the gauge that you get off. You discover from most of the people that you talk to, though they are, there is of course a sadness that about the young woman who lost her life. There is equal parts this sense of sort of wonderment and respect for the traditions of Naporia after witnessing what everyone saw with the island, and generally they are young men and women. They're teenagers, but they are on the verge of adulthood, and Naporia is a nation of people who are trained to be very resilient. They are in the process of training, in the same martial school that that Nymue has trained under. The prevailing feeling is that that this was a tragedy. The the 4 surviving students are going to be okay. Nymue and Scylla. We all forgot that Nymue was on the island with you guys as you had that roller coaster of emotions of an exchange. But Nymue is also there
She's
because
meditating.
she is meditating at this shrine. But Nymue, you are doing this. You're taking to heart the things that Scylla has said to you over the weeks that you've been traveling together about looking inward. You have, you were thinking about the experience you had here the other day. And you spend some time, you meditate, and you find yourself sort of in this place where you are drifting between the meditative techniques that are, traditional of your people that you have learned, over the course of your whole life, and the slightly more, the less regimented, the less centered, focused, the more wild sort of free-spirited ways of Scylla's sort of druidic form of meditation. And you find yourself kind of sinking into this deep place where the world kind of seems to just wash away from around you, and you find yourself centered within your own body and your own mind. So probably like this exchange takes place, and it might not even be something that you are aware of as you're turned inward at the time. Scylla, across the island, you are conducting this druidic magic. You are tapping into the very soul of the natural world as it flows through this island. You begin to cast your magic. You make your way through the rice paddies and the fields, slowly, methodically feeling your way through the area, making this network of magic, weaving it as you would perhaps like a reed basket, making it stronger, shoring up the edges, keeping it tightly woven and singular in its purpose. Koshiro follows you for a while, but eventually, once he sort of has the gist of like what you're up to, he sort of finds a central place and he parks himself. You get the sense he does not want to walk around behind you for 8 hours. So he eventually sits and he just kind of watches. and you let this water flow through the fields, enriching the soil as you go, making your way around, and eventually back to your central starting point, where you complete the ritual just as the sun is dipping below the tops, the crest of the island. The sky is this like vibrant orange and crimson. The last rays of the light reflecting off of Agiria's ring, and the sort of it's a very thin singular band at the latitude that you guys are on currently in the sky, and it burns almost this like streak of fiery red straight across the sky above you. You complete your spell, and the sort of the spectral cascade of the waves rush out from you, and you see that the plants growing here don't show immediate signs necessarily of being affected, but the soil. You watch as the soil in the dying orange light spreading out from you grows deep and dark and rich and fertile, almost black in the nutrient denseness that you create in this area. It spreads out from you. Nymue, you have been turned inward for you don't even know how long at this point. But as you are sinking into this meditation, you are trying to find a balance, trying to center yourself between the meditation that you have been taught your whole life on Naporia and the way that Scylla has showed for you. You find yourself trying for the first time to find a place that is purely of your own. And all of a sudden, you feel almost as if your mind, as if your spirit, as if your soul brushes up against something else. Something that is of you, but is beside you. It feels wild and alien and strange. You feel things from it that you try to interpret as thoughts or emotions, but the closest that you can come in this state that you're in is just the sensation of colors. And they are colors both familiar and strange, hues that you have never seen in the natural world before. And all of it seems to impress a sense of wanting something of you, from you, and also wanting you to take of it in equal return. And as you reach this place, you feel this essence. You brush against what you think may very well be the spirit connected to you. The wave of Scylla's druidic magic ripples out across the ley lines. Thyxes, you probably feel it on the island. Nymue, in this place, you feel this spirit, this essence that you've tapped into that is connected to you. You feel it react to Scylla's magics. You have a vision. It's unlike any dream you've ever seen before. It is as if you are standing physically in a place that is not where you know your body to be. You look around you, and you are standing atop a perfectly smooth surface of water. The water is dark and glassy. All around you, as far as you can see, you seem at first to be in a massive cavern, but then you realize as you look up towards what seems to be a domed ceiling, the walls and the ceiling are made not of stone, but of enormous, woven, entangling roots of a tree. And as you look at the intricate patterns carved by these roots as they weave together and knot and twist and diverge, you seem to see a story being told. It is as if you are reading a language that you do not understand. And its meaning is lost on you for now. But you can tell that there is some great epic of a history on a scale that you can't even wrap your mind around being told in the massive roots of whatever this huge organism is. And you see in front of you, illuminated as if by a light that you cannot determine the source of, that is on the far side of these figures, you see two shapes, two humanoid forms. They are cast in perfect silhouette by this sourceless light, with them between you and it. One of them is smaller, hunched a little bit at the back, at the waist. You see the shape of limbs that seem to be thin and bony and knotty and kind of gnarled with age. You see the silhouette, the wisps of a long beard hanging down almost to the waist. Beside him, the other figure towers above him, easily 7 feet tall, twice as wide as anybody you have ever seen, thick with muscle. And just as soon as the vision arrives, it vanishes. And the only thing that you are left with as you return to your own body is the impression as if someone had spoken to you from very far away. You hear the words, "Fair is fair." And you are once again sitting in the Shrine of Harmony on the island of Naporian, sun setting above you.
Okay, that was new. Alright. Thyxes? Are you around?
Oh yeah, I'm right here. I'm standing at the doorway. Are
Can
you
I
okay?
borrow... Yeah. Can I borrow your notebook? Just
Sure.
one
I
page.
don't see why not.
Pen too.
Well, you know, Rowan stitched it all together. I don't really want to tear any pages out. Here,
I don't
just
need-
take it.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to try. I don't just based off what memory I'm sure it's like one of those dreams that like when you wake up it starts to fade.
Mhm.
So as quickly as I can, I don't know if I need to make a check for this. I'm going to try to write down this language that I don't understand and like put down as much of it as I can into his book.
Okay. No check required. You're able
Okay.
to do that. What you end up doing is not writing like runes of an alphabet,
Okay.
but you draw a bunch of almost like shapes, similar a little bit to the way that you saw those two figures. You see that just as it's like slipping from your mind, you feel that the language that you were reading, the story that you were seeing being told was not written in a runage, or it almost seems as if it predates the concept of a written language.
Gotcha.
It was being conveyed to you in like the... I don't know if Nymue has any knowledge of like geology, but it's like the way that like the layers of like sediment and rock over like, you know, as you look at like a bisection of like a cliff's face tells like an eons long story of what happened in there. It's almost like that. And so you you kind of manage to draw some things that are like vague impressions of stuff that still doesn't really like connect to anything that you can put into words at this point.
That's totally fine. I just want it down so I don't forget. Can you keep this safe for me? I hand it back to Thyxes.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe it will help with your research too.
There's a lot of stuff that's really hard to explain here, but
Tell me
there's
about
a
it.
lot of power here.
I will just kind of go over my vision with both Macbeth and, like, mostly for Thyxes' benefit because he seems to be, like, studying the arcane nature of this. So, but I'm assuming Macbeth is nearby and she has no reason to hide any of that.
Sure.
Just to, like, explain what's written in his book. I'm like, this is what I saw. It's like a tree, 2 figures standing on, like, glass water.
Oh, Thyxes would just be geeking out.
Does that mean anything to me?
Probably not.
Well, I have no idea what that means, but
Me neither. It was very wild and alien and weird. And colors that I don't even know how to describe.
Oh, maybe more will be revealed to us in the future.
Maybe. But it's a start, yeah?
Yeah.
what did you have for dinner?
I haven't eaten yet, actually, now that I think about it.
Just
So we go
checking.
back? I'm not high.
I don't know if you were like, I don't know, I ate a whole bunch of oysters that tasted a little funny. I would have been like, well, there's your dream.
There's your answer, yeah. Shall we go back? Are you done here?
Should we go see if Scylla's...
Yeah, we should
yes,
check.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
done.
Okay. Let's go find the others.
All right. So as the sun sets below the horizon, another day here on Naporia comes to an end as you guys prepare to regroup. As the day ends and you make your plans for your next move on the morrow, I think we'll take a quick break. Give everybody a
Thank you,
moment
chat,
to
for the-
process all of that. Hey, thank you for those points,
After the
chat.
points. Yeah, Macbeth got points. He got a proficiency bonus and a GM's and stuff.
I ended up closing the stream.
And
Excellent. Never forgot to open that. Thanks, chat.
penetrators for life.
Measures for life.
Hell yeah!
Alrighty. Yeah, that is for those of you who are not aware, my 5-year-long home game campaign, which Macbeth Murderbeard was also a character in, ended this past Sunday. We played our final session, and in fact, the last words spoken in the campaign that I read to them were in fact, penetrators now, penetrators forever.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was our party name.
The vibe, you can tell the vibe of that game is a little different than
A little bit.
this one.
Take a portion of this show that is the rutabaga jokes and make that an entire
That's the whole. Yeah, it's
campaign.
it was just one big rutabaga joke was the campaign. Power word ball tap was the final spell that we invented in that game. Anyway, we'll take a quick break, let these guys refresh their drinks and stuff, and then we will be back for a little bit more D&D before we close things out tonight. So don't go anywhere. We will return in just a moment. If I can figure out where the mid rolls are. Hello, everybody. We have returned. However, we were chatting a little bit over the break. We are so for future reference, just to make the announcement to you guys in the audience, we're going to be changing up our scheduling a little bit. Over the past couple of weeks, I have a job that gets a little crazy. The springtime, that's starting to calm back down a little bit. So I am making a very concentrated effort to be like start when we're supposed to start at 7, as opposed to where I'm typically like rushing home and like scrambling to set things up. So we are going to be hopefully starting like right on time from now on, but we're going to be ending a little bit earlier in the evenings, playing slightly shorter sessions, and trying to wrap things up around 9:30 ish as opposed to 10, just to kind of condense things down a tad bit. That being said, we're chatting over the break here. The next leg of this is we're going to be kind of moving on from the island, going elsewhere. Probably like a tone shift in like what's going to be going on. We had some very cool, very ethereal, very plot heavy stuff happen tonight. So I think kind of where we left things was is going to be like an excellent kind of line of demarcation. To keep the sort of the tone and the content of this episode consistent with everything that was in it, and we'll pick up next time as the crew moves on. So what we are going to do is we're gonna close things out for the night here, a little bit early tonight, with that announcement for everybody going forward. So before we sign off, as usual, I want to thank our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. I want to thank Proficiency Bonus for having us on here to stream every week. I want to encourage everybody out there to go and find Probo everywhere that you can look for it. YouTube, Twitter, here on Twitch, obviously. Instagram, maybe? I don't know. Do we have Instagram? I don't know these things.
Yes, we do.
Join our cult.
Join our cult.
Well, Unstoppable Pigeon has an Instagram.
Unstoppable Pigeon is a different thing. You can look for that if you want to. Unstoppable Pigeon is my channel, where I have things that are not D&D and are largely ridiculous. But yeah, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you guys for playing with me tonight. I hope everybody has enjoyed it, and we will be back next week with the Fool's Errand, the other party. One member of whom we may have had a cameo from tonight for watchers of both campaigns. There's crossover if you're looking for it. So, thank you for sticking with us tonight. We love your faces. We appreciate you. We will see you next week. And have a good night, everybody. Happy Pride Month. Hey, bye.
Bye.